And our final video of this series is end product inhibition. Okay, so class is a feedback inhibition, i.e. it's feeding back something to the cell in relation to there's going to be a difference in the cascade of this pathway, the running of this pathway as such, okay? So when we talk about, so here we go, so remember we started a series of videos off talking about pathways, okay? And we're talking about the fact that for us to convert metabolite W to metabolite X, we need our enzyme to catalyse this reaction as such, okay? But what happens is, if there is a build-up of metabolite Z, so the end product of this pathway, then what can happen is some of the molecules, okay, so some of the molecules of metabolite Z can therefore go and bind on to the very first enzyme in the pathway, okay? So when molecules of metabolite Z, okay, is building up, so when metabolite Z, sorry, is building up and building up, okay, we've got a high concentration of it, molecules from this metabolite go back to the very first enzyme in this pathway, okay, and binds on to the enzyme, which therefore triggers the enzyme, okay, to slow the process down, to slow this pathway down, okay? So by binding on, metabolite Z, binding on to enzyme 1, it therefore inhibits the pathway continuing, okay? So that means there is no conversion between metabolite W and metabolite X. There is just an increase of metabolite W. And what naturally happens is, as the concentration of metabolite W increases, that will trigger somewhere else within the cell that we now require. We no longer require this feedback inhibition. We don't require to inhibit this end product anymore. Okay, the molecules will be dispersed away from enzyme 1 and the pathway would continue again. Okay, if you think of it in terms of high levels of testosterone or estrogen in the body, then that's the exact same kind of idea in relation to, we are going to prevent the pituitary gland releasing certain types of hormones until the levels of testosterone lower as such, okay? So end product inhibition is when we have a large increase of a high concentration of end product, and we therefore inhibit enzyme 1 from converting the substrate, the original substrate, into the next intermediate or metabolite, and that therefore prevents the pathway from running.